to the strong. Mindset shift, no shortcuts, no fiction. Nestor and Daniel.
Well, I got home from work last night, but didn't get to eat it because it was so late. So we ended up just getting pizza and finishing off the Oktoberfest that was in the fridge because we're not drinking in November. So there's a whole lot of bloat going on. Yeah. Good morning. Yeah. Probably cut that out because nobody wants to wake up to that talk.
No, but it's true.
Yeah.
I know I had pretty much the same shit yesterday, and I was thinking about it as I still got a weekend. I'm pretty much fucked until Monday. Yeah. I'm heading out of town again. I'm going to Longboat Key.
Longboat Key. Life sounds familiar.
It's over in your up north.
Okay.
It's on your side, up north. I'm driving up there today, spending all weekend there until Sunday. Oh, fuck.
Gotta love it. That's your fancy wedding?
Yeah. Fuck.
Did you get a suit?
What's that?
So did you get the suit?
No. Because my wife has been rummaging through everything, trying to see if we have to go to the store today or not. She does not want to spend any money on this party either. So I'm waiting for her to tell me I have nothing to wear. So when she says I have nothing to wear, then I'll jump in there and I'll get a pair of slacks or something. You know what I mean? That's like,
Gotcha.
because I really don't have anything to wear. I know what I have. And I know for a fact. I mean, my suits are fucking big.
Mm-hmm.
Way too big on me. I was a size 38.
What do you know?
I can fit into a 32, but I wear 34s.
Okay.
You know, for those bloating days like today.
Yeah, I don't think I can fit into a 32.
What are you, 30s?
34.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
5'8".
because I got.
Oh shit, that's right. We're about the same size.
Yeah.
Oh.
There. It's not like it's anything special or anything, but it's a very, very
sharp. Hell yeah, dude. I would. Hell yeah.
So if need be.
I think I even got shoes for that.
Well,
Yeah, I do.
if you got a shirt, yeah, if you got a shirt, because I don't think my shirt size will fit yours. Fit you.
What's your neck?
Pencil.
Huh?
I said pencil.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My neck is 16 and 3, 16 and a half. Yeah. 16 and a half, 35. Slim fit. I might have a traditional fit, but I doubt it.
I'm a 17, probably.
Yeah. So that means you'll be blacking out.
Huh?
So you'd be blacking out. You button that top button.
You'll be seeing God.
Yeah.
I have a shirt. I got a shirt. I think, yeah, I got a shirt for that one with cufflinks.
Nice. There you go.
That's a nice suit for a cufflinks. I got one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that way I'll just drive this way. This way.
Yeah. It makes you drive a little bit longer on the way back, but whatever.
It's okay.
I saved you a couple $100.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you.
Well, a few $100 at least.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Hell
Yep.
yeah.
Never thought that I'd have a dress clothes closet, but yeah.
Well, sometimes we forget that we were in another industry. So yeah.
It was funny because when I bought my first suit uh, ever that I purchased, because I know I had like ones when I was a kid,
Yeah.
Easter Sunday stuff, but when we were getting fitted for the wedding, Men's Warehouse gives you that like $400 off or $600 off or whatever, and then you still spend like $600 on a suit. But it's still the best fitting suit that I have. And then I found out that they're like, yeah, Men's Warehouse suits are trash. I was like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, you gotta actually go to a tailor. I was like, well, they tailored it. They're like, yeah, but you'll spend 10 grand on a nice suit. And I was like, I will not. I will not until I'm making 100 grand a month.
Bastion. So what's yesterday we were doing the trick or treating thing and we had the kids here waiting, Nelson brought his kids. So we were just waiting for kids to come by in the neighborhood. And the neighbor across the street was walking his dog and he said, oh, hey, Marica, blah, blah, blah. He's a big Italian, and he tries to speak Spanish sounding like a fucking Cuban. It's hilarious,
Mhm.
And he comes, so I go over there. I say, "What's up? Man? What's going on? How are you?" And I said, "Hey, man, I heard the business is doing good." He goes, "Oh my God, the mall?" He goes, "Yeah." So this guy, he's got like I don't know, 12 subways, and he owns one of those all vegan places in the mall.
Oh,
Right?
that guy? Okay.
Yeah.
You're telling me about him?
Yeah. So he was there, and he comes to me and he goes, "Hey, man, I see your boy every day dressed nice in a suit, tie." He goes, "That's good." I said, "That's good." And then I was to hear another dad like acknowledge your son, and it touched me. But it was made on the suit that he looks sharp, that he's always. So I know Sebastian, for example, he gets his suits from some place online. It's like a membership or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think he has like 5 or 6 different colors, and
Nice.
he mixed. They're all pretty much the same cut, tailored, not tailored to him, but it was like a membership. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he mixes and matches his. He's got an incredible wardrobe. But fucking Seb is 6 foot tall.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, Seb is fucking big. See, I won't tell him to his face, but I don't want to roll with him.
Freaking hilarious. I bet you no, I didn't do that. All right. I'm having all the funnest, uh, all the fun. Yeah, I was going out to get the pizza last night, And kids never stop at our house for Halloween, but they did last night. And so it was like a whole bunch of people driving through our neighborhood with their hazard lights on. Is that what they do now? Well, parents don't walk with their kids, they follow them in the car.
Tell you the truth, this time I only saw one group of parents and they never talked to us. Didn't even acknowledge we were there. Yeah. It was a little awkward, to be honest with you. We got in the car and then we had to go pick up our pizza, you know. So that's why I said I know what you mean. And our little block was like left alone. Like we had the least amount of trick-or-treaters. I know I kind of felt left out.
Yeah.
Because everybody else was busy with parties and all the other blocks were full of kids, and we were like, you know, we just had some dopey ass fucking parents, and that's it.
Yeah. No, I don't really participate in Halloween, so it's not my thing at all. Just because of how I was raised. Getting some sugar today. Enjoy this. I know. Was it? I think it was last year. Was it last? It was the last year or the year before. While somebody in our neighborhood was having a Halloween party, they had a loudspeaker playing the sound from the beginning of The Purge. So it's like this creepy ass siren. It's signifying the start of The Purge from the movie. And so that
Okay. Oh yeah, the bar. Yeah.
yeah, so they were doing that on repeat from like 6 o'clock to midnight. And my wife was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, it's probably somebody just trying to scare everybody for Halloween. But I'm gonna go get my rifle.
Just in case you don't know. Yeah.
They didn't do it this year, which I'm grateful for because that was a little nerve wracking.
Oh God. That was funny. You know, that's crazy. I can see something like that happening. They're telling us their own little truths. We have civil war coming,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then maybe they'll have a purge after the civil war. I don't know. Just saying.
Did you see that? I don't even know if I asked you about this earlier. They had slipped a piece of legislation through, like very quietly, to allow the military to use deadly force on the citizens of America.
On civilians?
Yeah.
Wait. That's not possible. They
Yeah.
turned it?
That Kazi Palmataris, yeah, they I'll find the clip for you. And then they literally go through it.
Wait. Yeah, because no. That's what the National Guard is for,
Right.
right? So you have the
Right.
National Guard, who they're the ones who are against
Oh,
the
yeah.
civilians, you know? But you're saying that they gave the fucking military full autonomy?
They gave the military authorization to use deadly force. Let me find it.
Oh,
Because I sent it to my dad because it happened like in September, I think. Okay.
Nearly 60.
All right. It happened in September. And like the reason why I caught it is because I was up at the gym early and it was through my YouTube feed where somebody was talking about it.
And then I was like, this has got to be clickbait or whatever. Listen to
Yeah.
it, and then listen to it again, and then Chad Wright, the ex Navy SEAL,
Yeah.
talked about it and went through it all. And then Christian Warrior Training went through it and went through it all. And there's a bit of gray area, but then I had said to my buddy that's an ex cop. He's like, "Yeah, I was actually going to talk to you about this." He's like, "So we saw it when it went up, and his wife has a master's in something. I don't remember what it is, and they're both extremely like well-read people that know how to, and they're like, this is the issue. Yeah, they're literally just setting the table where if there's some sort of uprising, then they can just crush it. Um, and
Push
so
a
we
button and
start.
blow the place up.
Uh, so looking at stuff like that, it is a little concerning. And I told my dad because my dad's ex Navy, and he's like, no, he's like, that's illegal. I was like, I don't know where it's illegal. But it was never voted on. It's never been covered on any major news network or anything. It's freaking nuts. Let's see here. Military.
That's not good. That one's kind of scary. I don't like that one.
Let's see here. Military used to, yeah, lethal force issued. About 2 weeks ago. It's Directive 5240-01. And it's never been covered on any news network or anything. And that looks like half the things that were up on YouTube about it got taken down. What are your thoughts on that one?
You know that I mean, we hear about propaganda, we hear about how other countries, a lot of our videos are banned, can't get access to it. I mean, I know I've been sent links before where they go, where I click on it, it's like, oh, this link is not viewable in your country. You don't think they're not censoring every possible airwave out there, dude, of some type of fucking communication?
No,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? The only way they have to be. You know, when I was in Colombia and I was going on certain sites, the same thing. It was just the opposite, you know? There's a lot of things that are fucking that we think that we see as normal, perceive as normal, and oh, the world is a messed up place. If they did it more like the Americans, we're fucked.
Yeah. That's there's a there's a clip of Byron Donalds going through financial records of Joe Biden. It was a couple years ago, and I was watching it and it was like a congressional hearing, and he was going through it and talking about it, and he was showing the documentation behind it, and like putting it up on the screen. And it's like just very clear laid out case, and it was like one of the days that I was going back and forth with my brother-in-law, and so I sent it to him. And then he was like, "Why'd you send me this video of this Chinese person freaking talking?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I sent you this clip." And so I showed him like the title of it, and freaking, he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Open it." And I was like, "It's an entirely different video. Like it doesn't exist anymore." And it's like I've never found it again. And I was like, this is insane. And so like the stuff that, and after that I was done. Like I was like 100% done. I don't trust anything that comes out anymore because they snatch stuff. Like I've had things on my that I posted like over the past couple of years. Well, actually over the past year that have been flagged because they have tape in it and freaking um like what is it? It was like, this is not a strike. This is a warning. If you don't remove this video, then we're going to give you a strike. And I was like, it's literally an edit of a very solid clip of like just some great advice for young men. And because it's Andrew Tate, it was just like, no, but I see Andrew Tate all over YouTube. So it's very interesting, like, because they banned him, but then he still, people are still doing
Oh,
it. The Matrix.
we're talking about something and we're getting frozen up.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I don't disagree. Yeah, it is pretty far fetched, but something's not. There's things out there that are way beyond our control or even our comprehension. I mean, we're just trying to live our day to day, dude. Be, try to be a good neighbor, just trying to be, pay my taxes and just leave me alone. Let me just chill,
I
you
don't even want to
know?
pay on taxes. I just don't want to go to jail. It's literally the only reason why. I want them coming to take my shit. The stuff that I'm renting while I'm here on this earth, because we own nothing at this point.
That's another one. I finally got a hold of my accountant. I've had a couple things here and there that I needed to clear up with him. And then he's like, "Hey Ness, I'm ready." And now I'm not. I'm like, it's just to get in tune with him is insane. It's outrageous. Dolly's been telling me, she goes, "You have to go sit down with this guy for at least a year and a half, 2 years."
Oh wow.
I have a mess right now. I have a mess. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah. Well, luckily my accountant has a link to my shit, so he can actually go into the QuickBooks that I have, and he can see everything and do everything behind the scenes because I just don't have time.
I don't.
Um,
It's. Listen, the shit that I did and opened up last year, I opened up at least 15 different corporations. I did a bunch of little things with her dad. I did I did little things in the last couple of years too. That I'm like, can I just like consolidate all of this into one? Like, but am I? Yeah.
luckily I only did two last year, so and one of them failed. So like it did. I think I got to the point where I opened up a bank account, started doing some stuff on the computer, and done some training, lots of proposals and stuff like that. But we ended up rolling it into
Well, you
another
have the
company.
basic, exactly. You have,
Yeah.
yeah, you have the home business and then you have your marketing business. That's pretty much all you need.
So I was like, I still have the main one. So I've one that failed and two that I closed because I closed the LLC that I had for WFG,
Yeah.
and then of course because it's side hustle money at this point, so there's no point in me keeping that and doing the reporting for it, and then I can run everything through the discipline over motivation, um, and just funnel everything through there.
Yeah, because we had the real estate one, Aviator Properties. That one's still up and running. That one moved a little bit of money. On the other side, we had but I lose money with all of them. It's beautiful. I'm thinking over here going, no, that one's in the red. Yeah, but that one's in the red because of this. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, so
Yeah, no, and that goes over everybody's head.
yeah.
Yeah, what's the name of that book that everybody should read? Gosh, it's like Tax Free Wealth for Life or something like that.
The what?
Tax Free Wealth for Life, I think is what it's called, or Tax Free Wealth. This one right here was written by Robert Kiyosaki's CPA. Yeah, yeah. Everybody needs to read that book.
I haven't read it, but I can imagine what's in there.
But I didn't
because
finish it. I got like halfway through it, and I was too busy taking notes and like making changes in my life.
you know, Tony's book Money, right?
Yeah,
And
I listened to that one.
I know I've listened to it twice,
Freaking as thick
but
as a
that's a
Bible.
book that is just a fucking like there's no way to simplify.
It's in here too.
Oh, I have it. I have it too.
Yeah, for
I
people
have
that
the
don't.
physical, the audio, the fucking yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
Thing is freaking.
And
Yeah, no,
the volume two's coming out, or it
yeah,
came out already.
I think it's already out.
I haven't it's already out, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that one yet. But volume two has a lot of the oh fuck dude. Like new ways of making monies.
I'm gonna have to grab it.
It involves, I mean, like he adds social media in there and everything,
Really?
the marketing side and so forth.
No.
Um, that's one thing I've noticed, dude. I mean, I don't know if this is what they call the end of times and revelations, but like the mass, we're starting to see a rise in consciousness and people, you know, not really doing the whole left or right or blue and red or like, wait, that doesn't make sense and doesn't, you know what I mean, on both sides of the spectrum. We're starting to see that everywhere around the world, you know. We're starting to see that and at the same time, why did I bring that up? I don't remember. I
You
don't know
went
where
from
I was going
marketing to
with
the
that.
rise of the consciousness to
Yeah, I know, but I started, but
he's like, I was trying to leave, man. I was going somewhere.
I was. I was going somewhere and then I lost my chain of thought and it's okay and good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. I I spent some time with Luke yesterday and listened to some of his stuff.
That's where I was going. Damn it. See? Yes. Dude,
Since you're talking
notice,
about the rise of consciousness.
dude, just think about what the fucking listen to that kid, dude. All right, just see. That fucker isn't even 24 years old.
Like with zero life experience whatsoever, and
Right?
freaking he has
And he
just
mastered
been
it.
just tap in.
Him, he's in tune with the Tates, right?
Yeah, that's actually
They're all
I
fucking
think that's what you sent
friends,
me. Yeah,
right? They're all friends, you know, and they're out of the matrix. They're like it's they actually have been found the true secret. They've mastered the secret. They've mastered it. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And I'm noticing that I'm like, these little motherfuckers, dude. Here we are. The, that's where I was going at. The type of people, the realizing the awakening, like, whoa, yeah.
yeah.
That's where I was getting at.
And
Yes,
the thing
thank you.
is, yeah, I think it was yesterday we were talking about the people that I choose to have around me, and then listening to that clip or that video you sent me yesterday. It was like an hour. I think it was like an hour long or something like that.
Yeah.
And I started like scrolling the comments and freaking they're like, could you imagine creating a circle of people that are all trying to go in the same direction? It was like yeah, no, I can imagine that because that's what I've been actively
That's
working
what I've
on
been
doing
trying
for
to
the
do with my
past
fucking life.
yeah. And like it's so interesting that people would say imagine having like people like that around you, well, I mean, you got to start where you're at. And so, you're only going to get as far as your personal development's going to take you for that season. And
Yeah.
when I look at the, might have said that's like deja vu. So either I was dreaming about this or we talked about it yesterday. Where the people that were removed from my life younger, like they started exiting because I was going in the wrong direction. And then when I started moving forward, then I started leaving and just like going into another circle. It's like, I got into therapy. I left Colorado. All right. One Sparta personal development. So we moved the needle. Got here, started getting into books and audiobooks.
Yes.
All right. Well, now I'm going to try and make more money. Got into network marketing. Then in more personal development, more seminars, and then it's kept on going. And with every bit of it, like even the guy that decided that he was going to reach out and pay for the freaking mold remediation stuff. He was like, the Daniel I met 19 years ago was not the same Daniel that I know today. He is like, and it is phenomenal to see how far you've grown. And he's like, and you're taking me with you because you're pushing me to do other things. And so like he's been leveling up. Like we used to have an accountability lunch every at the beginning of every month before I started working for somebody else. And we would sit there and we would talk about what we were doing for that month and what we wanted to accomplish. And we were like, that was probably one of the largest growth periods in my life. And like now he's like, hey, these are contracts that we're putting together for this. And it's like, this is what we're doing over here. And so it's cool. It's like, but you keep on moving and uh and striving and getting to that next peer group. And they were talking about the no man's land. That lull where you feel like you're all alone in that a certain period because you're leaving the group of people where you fit in and you haven't quite qualified yourself with your own personal, there's got to be a word there. You haven't proven to yourself that you're worthy of that next peer group. And so you just haven't made that step or strive to actually get to that next peer group. And so you feel like you're alone, but you're not. And there's a whole group of people that are moving forward, moving through the same period of life. You just haven't found them yet. And I think that's a lot of people just like, oh, it'd be really cool. Like, no, motherfucker, do the work. It ain't cool. Like, it sucks. Like that's the fun part, the hard part, the shit that gives you the most confidence and the biggest reward is the shit that you do when nobody else is looking. It's like the late nights, the early mornings, the books, the audiobooks, listen to this freaking kid. It's like, yeah, I don't listen to music. Like, huh, where have we heard that before? He's like, yeah. He's like, if I'm listening to music, it's gonna be like something lo-fi, and it's gonna be something that's like tuning with my spirit and get me in the right vibrational frequency. Holy fucking fuck! I started doing that a year ago. Is like, how do you listen to that? I don't know. It just makes me work. Like I don't get it, but like it came on my screen one day. I was like, I like this. It's like there's a whole freaking. It's called work music, and it's like 7 videos, and it's probably 10 hours long. And I'll hit that bitch, and legit, if the wife leaves town and goes to a concert, that motherfucker's on all day, and
All blast.
I'm in the lab, like back here, just getting it. Getting it, doing it at the gym, like those days where I like when I was hurt and ride 10 miles on the stationary bike at the gym. That's what I was listening to, and I'd be on Chat GPT and I'd be on Midjourney and I'd be designing things and getting ideas and I'd be working through stuff and there'd just be that puddle of sweat on the floor and I'd just be bopping. And freaking, that's how so much stuff got done. Like it's freaking insane. And so they hear this freaking, I call him a kid because he's like 20 years younger than me, but it's freaking pretty cool to see somebody at that level. And it's a little annoying as well because I think of all the time that I squandered in my 20s, in my 30s.
Yeah. But listen, I mean, it just goes to that's where I was going with this whole rise of consciousness thing. That's where I was going with this whole thing. That's where I was just because they're censoring all the things that we seem to want in the sense of personal freedom, right? The things that just when he said it the other day, he goes that he's reading the Bill of Rights. I mean, I don't know how old this was, or he's studying the Bill of Rights. This fucking kid is studying the Bill of Rights. Why? Because what are you fighting for if you don't even know your own damn rights?
Right.
I'm like, kid's got a point.
He
You
does.
know, he's got a point because you're as they're sneaking shit in, they're weaving shit out. You know what I mean? They're taking things as they let's propose this change, let's add this, and meanwhile let's go ahead and fuck them. Let's shove this in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that's kind of a big deal. And he's talking about reading the Bill of Rights, and I'm sitting there thinking about reading the Constitution and actually learning the Constitution because I think I was in seventh grade when we went over the Constitution and the Bill of Rights in
You're right.
civics
I really
class,
thought about
and I was just like, we know the key ones, the First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, but like they're all really important. And how many people will memorize their favorite fucking Taylor Swift song, but they couldn't tell you anything about First
the
Amendment?
album. They'll memorize the whole album.
Correct. And they will meditate on it and they will listen to it over and over again. But then something that's so critical to the existence of the civilization that we've been gifted, that people bled and died for, and they have no mind to it. They want to watch the fucking Kardashians.
They're gonna fucking watch it burn and realize, and then go, "Oh my god, what happened?"
No, there's say, "Oh, yeah, for me, somebody come save me."
Right? Somebody come save me.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do. Yeah, what the
it's
fuck, dude?
fucking. I had on that American flag, the American flag hoodie yesterday. My dry fit one, and my boss, he was like, I feel like Captain America's in here right now. It says 7076 across the front. I was like, read the fucking back. And he's like, hold the line. Oh. And he's like, if you do not have the will to stand, you will be forced to kneel and everything will be taken. He was like, wow. I was like, yeah, that's how I feel. He was like, no, he's like, you're right. I was like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't care who knows. And literally nobody's ever said anything to me about that. Ever.
You see, here's the thing that we were discussing the other day. I was explaining politics to my best sense, but while using the internet for answers. I was explaining it to Nelson, and I said, "Hey, so for example, do you want your child, your 9-year-old boy, to be in school and to get taught how to give a blowjob?" Because what? I was like, yeah. How to jerk off? Do you want your son to learn in school how to touch himself? Really? What? Well, that's happening right now. They are going to do this. It hasn't happened to us yet, but it's happening in other fucking states. So yes, it's happening. What do you mean? And I went down that rabbit, just right there with family fucking values alone. That's it. Right? The whole, and he goes, that's not right. It's like, and you coming from a small town where this is just straight risk right and wrong. That's it. Because he's amazed by everything. He's still like in Google. He's like, oh, wow. Right? To us, it's normal. For him is like, wow. So I watch him and I watch his kids, and I keep reminding him, don't get lost in the fucking facade. Don't
Mhm.
become one of those. They're trying to fuck you. I keep telling him, reminding him. And that was one of the things with the whole thing. Then the other one was all the other alphabet kids, right? So
I'm trying so hard not to laugh.
I just don't know what to say. I mean, because it's, yeah, if you're an alphabet kid, then you don't know what you are. Right? Whatever, dude. So I showed him that one, and he starts laughing. He goes, yeah, well, let them be whatever they want to be, and that's fine with me. It's just as long as what? He goes, as long as you don't interfere and push me. Ah, okay. So is it okay to be out in public? And like what happened to me, for example, me. Okay, I went to the local Apple store one day, and here comes this freak show showing me his fucking nut hairs in between his.
No.
Yeah, dude, me, dude. And I'm looking at this guy half naked in front of me. I swear to God. And I'm looking at kids everywhere, and I'm like, would you please pull up your pants? Why? I can see your fucking nut hairs. Like, swear to God. I mean, they're
Pretty gross.
there. And I was like, dude, ah, I almost grabbed him by his fucking throat and threw him out of Apple. Literally, the Apple people retained me, and my wife goes, we have to leave.
Good.
It's just, I ended up saying some really nasty things to this um, tooth fairy,
Wow.
but just the fact that I was wrong to ask him to pull up his fucking pants because there was other kids present, not even my own,
Mm.
other people's kids, dude. At eye level, please,
Yeah.
please.
It's the very interesting thing because, when they wanted everybody to put on a mask, anybody and everybody would say something to you about it. But you have a grown man showing his fucking nut hairs to children and just in a manner like my wife doesn't wear things that are expose her body because of the way she is.
Respect.
And yeah, and she's like, I don't want to have all my shit out like that. And yeah, it's a freaking phenomenal thing. No, we can't even expect that out of a grown man to not like that. It's yeah, nah, it's not cool. Like it's just not. And the fact that it's something where you can actually get in trouble for saying something to people about it, or they feel entitled enough to where it's their God given right to show us their nuts. It's not. It's not. So,
I was at Ale House. Gabby was a lot smaller.
well,
She must have been 8 or 9 years old. And I was at Ale House. So this must have been 10 years ago. She's 8 or 9.
mm,
She's 19, yeah, 18. So yeah, about 10 years ago, we were at Ale House. And she goes, Daddy, I got to go to the bathroom. I said, okay, no problem. So I walk in and I look at all the stalls in the males and in the males. They're all disgusting. And I'm like, baby, can you do this by yourself? And she goes, yep. I said, I'll be right here outside the door. And she goes, okay. So she went into the girls' bathroom. She went in there and I just stood there waiting. All of a sudden, these two ladies, they go in and one of them comes out and she goes, what are you doing? And I said, I'm waiting for my daughter. If your daughter, huh? You're standing outside the girls' bathroom waiting for your daughter. I said, I am. What's her name? I said, Gabby. She goes, if there is no Gabby here, I'm gonna kill you. Dude, she went ballistic. straight up like the fuck, right?
I'm
I'm like,
all right. Awesome.
comes out, he comes out, Gabby, yes, is your daddy waiting for you? Yes. Okay, he's still waiting, baby. Okay. Comes out, she comes and gives me a hug and buys me a beer, dude.
Nice.
You know? Yeah. I don't want a life of pretending to have to fear for my daughter to be able to use a public restroom.
Right.
You know, that part right there. Yeah, where is the fine line between mental illness and uh acceptance? You know, there's got to be a fucking line somewhere, dude. Some
I
people are
don't
just
think it's a
mentally
fine
fucking
line.
ill.
I think that there just needs to be a line. There's no fine line. Mental illness is mental illness.
Mental
Like
illness. That's what I'm saying. There's got to be one, but
when
they're not seeing
when
it, or
was
what? I don't
when did it
understand.
become acceptable? Like I just don't understand when it became acceptable. So that's the thing. It's like, oh well, when they're mentally ill, let's make them feel good. Like, no, get them some fucking help. Like that's it. That's it. And like because I know, like I have people that I grew up with that turned out to be gay. Very nice
There's no
individuals.
problem.
Like they do their thing. They're happy. Well, they seem happy with the lifestyle they
Hey,
chose,
I
and
have
that's
gay
cool.
friends, and
And
that's
they do
awesome.
that. They do that
Yes.
behind closed doors. Clearly, we know what they do, but like he's not out fucking running around with a thong through fucking downtown Fort Myers or anything like that.
Listen, I have gay and lesbian friends, dude. I have gay friends. I have no problems. And even them they have a problem with the rest of the fucking alphabet kids. You know,
Yeah.
of course they do. Because there's morality clause, dude. There's nothing morality wrong with, you loving another dude or chick loving another chick. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. But there's something wrong when you think you're a fucking pony. Right? There's something wrong with that.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
They're trying to sink it in with like, do you remember House of Cards?
Yeah, I never watched that.
That was a really good show until Kevin Spacey, or if that's his name, I don't remember. I think that was his name. Uh, I guess they caught him with a little kid or something, but yeah, they killed the
Yeah,
show. Something like that. Something happened there.
he had some pretty egregious charges or
Yeah, that
allegations
was
that were going against him,
that was
and
crazy.
it was like, and he was a good actor too,
Yes,
but
he
apparently
was.
apparently he liked to assault
Bother the
boys.
little boys. Yeah, bother the little boys.
Yeah,
So, with all that being said, congratulations, you dumbass. You know,
yeah.
there's this with everything happening. Think about that with the fall of Diddy. You know, J Lo, Beyonce, Jay Z, all those fucking dudes are fucked. Everybody,
Listen,
it's
listen.
what.
I was. That's why I was. That's why I might hit up my boy and fucking tell him to get on this weekend, um, because he sent me the book from the lady that like wrote a book on Diddy and Jay Z.
Really?
There's an audio book. It's in my messages that I haven't listened to yet. And he's like, "Have you listened to it yet?" It's like, "Have you listened to it yet?" I'm like, "No, man, I don't have time for this shit." Like, but I'm gonna listen to it today because I'm gonna be in the truck for an hour. So I'm gonna check it out. But I'm gonna bring him on but the thing is like I was talking to Eric Douglas about this a couple days ago because we go down the rabbit hole of like the stuff that's going on behind the media and like some of these just this craziness. And back in the day, do you remember Foxy Brown, the rapper?
Fox T Brown. No, maybe if I see his
All
picture.
right. Well, it's a lady named Foxy Brown, um, and she used to rap for Rockefeller back in the day, and she had made a statement or a comment saying that Jay-Z was a tranny chaser. And I was like, no, not Jay-Z. And freaking like so the stuff that's been going on me, like there's been like rumors through the music industry for years. And like that's why people didn't really fuck with Puff Daddy like that. Like you see like videos of Tyson, I think it was like on Arsenio Hall, and Diddy put his hand on Tyson's leg, and
And he
like
moved it
Tyson
off
picked
of.
up his
Yeah.
and he and then like moved to the other side of the
Yeah.
couch, like, "Ah,
Yeah.
bro,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah. I
like, I
saw
know who
that.
you are." And so
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of stuff like that. Like you start connecting the dots. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. And this is like, this is crazy. And like even going back to like people might get mad about this, but there's rumors about when Tupac was in art school out in Baltimore that he was actually gay. And I was just like, that's nuts. And so, but back then it wasn't acceptable either. And so that was that whole thug life persona or whatever. And it's like, I'm not saying that that's necessarily true, but somebody that's from that area was like, that's true. I was like, okay. Um, and we're just like going down the Abercrombie and Finch guys. And
Yes.
there's supposed to be a documentary on that that didn't know existed, but they talk about how they used to fly straight young men across the
Yes.
globe to these parties, and then they would
Yes.
drug them, and then they would inject
Yes.
them with things to make things stay erect, and then they would rape them, and they only did it to straight guys because they wanted the fight.
Oh my God, dude.
And so, like stuff like that, like so, these are the rumors that are going around. There's documentaries around it, like Ashton Kutcher, like he's the Abercrombie and Finch boy, and then you got him distancing
Playing
himself
with
from Puffy
Diddy.
right now. He's like, yeah, but he's still at all the
Yeah.
parties, and so it's just like,
Yeah. Well, that's
yeah.
why him and Mia also got divorced.
Oh, I didn't know he got divorced.
Yes. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think I think all these people are just preparing to protect themselves,
yeah.
trying to stay away. Because Mina, if I'm not mistaken, dude, I mean, that was they've always since when they started in that one show,
That '70s
they
show.
yeah, they pretty much wanted everything to, they fell in love. I guess you could say it that way. Oh, fuck. But and then the other thing was the with him and Demi and going through that, even Demi's like she's like, don't ask me. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know. Yeah, dude.
That's nuts. That's
He's
oh
so fucked, dude. Disney's fucked. All of our media is fucked, dude. It's fucking hilarious.
well, yeah. Well, I mean, you look at these like these childhood stars, and we look at like the debauchery that goes on behind the scenes that nobody really ever knew about or talked about. You wonder when all these fucking Disney kids come out and they're just fucked up. They start out like super successful, and then you look at like Disney kids back in the day, and then you look at them now, and their lives are train wrecks. Macaulay Culkin's even one. Freaking Britney Spears, everybody wondering why she wouldn't fucking bat shit. I bet you something happened to her. Like it's like all of these different things. Like
Dude,
people don't
Britney
go
Spears.
nuts for no reason.
Listen to this. So speaking of Britney, she married some personal trainer or something like that right now, like the last guy she just married, right? I'm sure he was in there just for the money or for whatever it was. But dude, I swear to God, I feel so bad for her I really do. I look at the old Britney when Britney came out, and then the new Britney, the one that's our age, pretty much. I mean, think about it. She's fucked in the head. She may have all the money in the world. She may still have liquidity, $500 million, but poor girl is messed up in the head so bad, and it's all because fucking what they did to the entertainment. I mean, even like Selena Gomez. That's another little girl that I watched growing up with the kids. And she was the only one who didn't participate in a lot of things, but she got mixed up with Justin Bieber. And then Justin Bieber was another Diddy kid. Everybody's tied in somehow, dude. It's like another Epstein list.
Well, that's the thing is like that's how me and Erica got on that conversation because they talk about the different industries, and it was like, all right, so they hit Harvey Weinstein first, and then it was Epstein, then it was Diddy, now it's Abercrombie and Finch. Those are just all different industries, different segments of different industries, and it's like it's all just a freaking manipulation, control, debauchery. Like, how do you control the population? It's like you get dirt on them, and so you have these people that are, you know, in the Bible it talks about idols,
Yeah.
and
Be
these are
careful of false prophets.
and it's literally the idols that civilization worships. And like you ever go to a concert, you have all this energy going into people chanting songs to this person that's up on a stage with their arms raised up, and that's a form of worship. And so when we like think of it in that aspect, it's like, holy shit, it's insane.
That is nuts, dude.
Yeah, I like having these fucked up conversations. These are more fun.
Yeah, but why do they have to end so fast? Are you
I
leaving?
know. I was like, dude, it's already past 6.
I know. I
So
was looking at the time, and that's why I was like, why do I have to pee? I was like, oh, that's right.
that is why the body knows.
Yeah. Anyway, we got to continue.
What was that? We got to
So we're
continue.
gonna have to continue. Yeah.
I'm gonna hit up my boy and see if he. I'm gonna send you the freaking this book and see if you got time to listen to it. I'm gonna listen to it today, and I'm gonna hit
As
him
a
up.
matter of fact, if you're gonna send it to me, I will listen to it today.
So,
I'll probably start it. What time is it right now? I have a little bit of time right now before, because once the ladies wake up. Oh, yeah. Once the ladies wake up.
all right. Well, I'm gonna go hop in the shower and get out of here and go do some stuff that's fun that I don't want to do. And I get to buy a new computer today for the office, so that'll be fun.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Buy one that you would mind using for your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought about that, but there's so much shit that I do when I'm at work because I was gonna take my laptop in there with me the other day, and I literally spent a full day going through structures that I didn't know weighed like over 20,000. Some of them are up to like 50,000 pounds. Going through there and then figuring the quantity of stone that needs to be placed underneath them so they don't sink in the unsuitable material that they're digging out. Like legit, I hate math. Like, and that's what my day has been. That's what all of yesterday was. And then I was like, oh, it's not. It's you got to know the freaking different formulas because the ones for figuring out quantities and then converting it into tonnage and like doing it on a circle. So you have to figure out the radius and then figure out which right units to use. That's not basic algebra. Like it's a bunch
All
of
you do
fuckery.
is just say, "Hey, Chat GBT,
Yeah, no,
calculate this
literally
motherfucker for me."
Google it and it'll tell you the freaking here's the formula, and then just make sure you have the right unit.
My niece, she went to Penn State. I remember so much, and she's like, it's $37,000 a year, you know? And I was looking at her, and I was like, $400. And I was showing her my phone.
Yeah, legit. I mean, because you and the guy that was talking to that was interviewing Luke the other day, he was just like, yeah, he was like, it's a new calculator. He's like, that's all it is. He's like, AI is the new calculator. He's like, before you could only just do numbers. He's like, now you can do anything. And I was like, that motherfucker is so right. And it's like you can either adopt it, it ain't going nowhere. And it's such a dumbed down version than all these big companies are using. Like, oh, they just released this to the public. Like BlackRock's been using AI for at least a decade. And I think it's called Aladdin. And it'll blow ChatGPT out of the water. So, but I gotta go. So we'll keep on talking. Good conversation this morning.
I mean, I think,
I'll get with you.